The moment he told me to stand up, I knew this wasn't going to end like a normal conversation. Not, "Sir, can I help you?" Not, "Everything okay here?" Just a flat, confident command like he already knew the answer and I was wasting his time. "Stand up." I remember blinking, honestly thinking I misheard him, because who tells a man sitting in a wheelchair to stand up with that kind of certainty? So I said it calm, almost polite, because that's what you do when you've learned the world can flip on you fast. "I can't. I'm paralyzed." And he smiled. Not a friendly smile. The kind that says, "Yeah, I caught you." "Sure you are," he said. "I've heard that before." Right there, standing in a grocery store parking lot on a sunny Saturday afternoon, I realized something that still messes with my head to this day. Surviving war doesn't prepare you for being judged by someone who already decided you're lying. You know what I mean when I say some days are just supposed to be normal days? This was one of those. I dropped my daughter off at soccer practice, sent my wife and son to a birthday party, and headed out to grab groceries. Bread, milk, cereal, a few vegetables my wife insists we need even when the kids won't touch them. Nothing dramatic. Just life. I parked the van, lowered the ramp, rolled out in my chair, and started loading bags like I've done 100 times before. I've been paralyzed for years. I know the routine. I know how to balance bags, how to maneuver tight spaces, how to ignore the looks from people who don't know what to do when disability doesn't fit their idea of what it's supposed to look like. And that's when I noticed her. A woman sitting in her SUV a few spaces over, engine running, sunglasses on, staring at me like I'd wandered into a place I didn't belong. Not curiosity, not concern, that stare. The kind that weighs you, measures you, decides something about you without asking a single question. I nodded because, again, that's what you do. She didn't nod back. She picked up her phone. I didn't hear the call until later, but it lasted less than a minute. 40-something seconds of absolute certainty. "There's a man pretending to be disabled in the parking lot," she said. "He probably stole that wheelchair. He's using a fake handicap placard." The dispatcher asked what she'd seen. Her answer was simple. "I just know. People like him do this all the time. People like him." 3 words that somehow explained everything. When the patrol cars pulled in, I felt that shift you feel before something goes wrong. Like the background noise drops out and suddenly you're very aware of where your hands are. Who's watching, how fast your heart starts beating for no good reason. The first officer came at me fast, confident, chest out, hand on his belt like that was part of the uniform. His partner stayed back a little, eyes moving, taking things in. He stopped right in front of me, close enough that I had to tilt my head up to see his face. "You need to stand up out of that chair now." No introduction, no explanation. I actually laughed for half a second because my brain couldn't catch up. "Is this a joke?" I said. "I'm paralyzed." He shook his head. "Yeah, I've heard that before. People fake disabilities all the time." And that's when something inside me shifted. Not panic, not fear, recognition. I've met this type before, the kind of person who decides who you are before you speak, and then treats everything you say as part of the lie. I told him I was a disabled veteran. I explained I hadn't walked in years. I pointed to my legs, thin from muscle loss, unmoving in a way you can't fake. He didn't even look. Anyone can say that he said. I told him I had documentation, my VA card, my military ID, everything in my wallet. "I don't need to see it." That caught me off guard. "Then what do you need?" I asked. He said it like it was the most reasonable thing in the world. "I need you to get out of that chair and prove you can't walk." Now listen, I've been through a lot. Combat changes you, rehab changes you, you learn patience, you learn restraint, you learn how to breathe through frustration because losing control doesn't help. So I kept my voice steady. I told him plainly that I could not stand that removing me from the chair could injure me, that I was identifying myself clearly and offering proof. I even looked around and pointed out cameras, store security people already lifting their phones. His partner said quietly, "Maybe we should just check his documents." He didn't even turn toward her. "I know a faker when I see one," he said. And here's the part that still hurts the most. I tried to make him see me as a human being. I told him about the day my life changed, about seeing an explosive trigger a split second before one of my guys stepped on it, about moving without thinking, about the blast, about the friends who didn't make it, about the damage to my spine that put me in that chair for the rest of my life. I wasn't performing. I wasn't begging. I was just telling the truth. For a moment, I thought maybe it landed. But his face didn't change. "I've heard enough," he said. He grabbed my arm and yanked. And when you're paralyzed, your body doesn't react the way it used to. Your legs don't brace. Your core doesn't catch you. You just go. I came out of the chair and hit the asphalt hard, shoulder first, then my side. The sound was ugly. Groceries went everywhere. bread milk cereal boxes sliding across the handicap space. I heard people yelling. I tasted dirt. And then I heard his voice above me, sharp and impatient. Now stand up. I was face down, palms pressed into the pavement, trying to breathe through pain that lit up my back like fire. My legs were twisted behind me, completely still. I can't, I said. Quit playing, he snapped. Get up. That moment was worse than the pain. Because it wasn't just my body on the ground. It was my dignity, my service. Every night I spent learning how to transfer from a bed to a chair, how to live a different life. Reduced to someone accusing me of pretending. That's when the crowd reacted. Someone yelled, "What are you doing?" "He's in a wheelchair." Another voice panicked, "Oh my God." His partner dropped down beside me, hands, gentle voice, steady. "Don't move," she said. "I'm calling an ambulance." I tried to joke because humor is how I survive. "Yeah," I said, breathless. "That would be nice." An older man pushed through the crowd wearing a veteran cap. He knelt next to me and took my hand like he'd known me forever. "I got you, brother," he said. "You're not alone." I remember thinking about my daughter's soccer practice, about how I was supposed to pick her up. That was the thought that made my throat tighten. EMS arrived fast. They asked about my injury, moved carefully, strapped me down, lifted me onto the stretcher. As they wheeled me away, I saw my empty wheelchair sitting by my van, groceries scattered around it like evidence. At the hospital, they ran scans. Bruised, shaken, but no new catastrophic damage. I was lucky. 2 days later, I went home. And then the video hit. Everywhere. Phones, TVs, social media. People watched a paralyzed man being told to stand up. They watched an officer ignore reality. And once it was out there, it couldn't be buried. Investigators pulled footage, witness videos, store cameras. They looked at the 911 call and the woman who made it her history of calling police on people who didn't belong. They looked at the officer's record, the complaints that had piled up over the years, many involving disabled people, all brushed aside. Until this time. The case went federal. Civil rights charges, assault, deprivation of rights. The trial packed the courtroom. Veterans, advocates, reporters. I took the stand and told the truth. Again. They played the footage. Again. The jury watched my body hit the ground. They watched him dismiss everything I showed him. His defense said he was just responding to a call. The prosecutor said something that stuck with me. A call is not proof. He chose not to see. When the verdict came back guilty, I didn't cheer. I didn't cry. I just sat there and breathed, feeling something heavy lift. Not because it fixed what happened, but because for once someone believed me. The woman who made the call was convicted too. And of course, people argued about it online. They always do. Some said it was excessive. Some said it was just caution. And that's the part that still bothers me, because if caution means calling the police on a man buying groceries, then what we're really talking about is who gets to exist without being questioned. So here's what I want to know from you. If you had been there, what would you have done? Would you have spoken up, pulled out your phone, looked the other way? And bigger than that, do you think officers should be